All right, we're live. Here we go. We're going to be talking to an amazing real estate agent who happens to be both Randy and my friend. And Randy, how long have we known Brittany, Randy?
5+ years.
No, not that. It would be about 5 years. I hadn't been an agent 5+.
Randy, I'm not going to ask you any questions from now on.
I just throw plus as a general. I just throw that out there. Like, I don't know. It can be 4
I won't
months.
let you lie.
4+, just 5+, just assume it's 5. I say 4+, just assume it's 4.
That's acceptable.
I love it. All right. And Brittany, you're out of Louisiana. What areas do you cover out there and how long have you been there?
I am right outside of the greater Baton Rouge area. So basically the part of the state that's getting hit by the bands of the hurricane, that's where I'm at now. So
all right.
Baton Rouge, Zachary, Prairieville, Ascension, New Orleans is about an hour, 20 minutes from me, from here.
I love that. All right. And so if we lose reception with Brittany, you know why?
You shouldn't. We did have a power outage last night, but I still have my cell phone. So if you lose service here, I'll hop back on the cell.
You'll come back. All right.
Love it.
And so for everybody joining us, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. This webinar is sponsored by Chime. Obviously, Randy is not only a friend of ours, but he works with Chime. And
how convenient.
So I love that. Before you joined us, we were talking about fast food. And Randy's got this place out in Atlanta, and Brittany's got a picture of a cow.
We got Cookout. The big double burger. This is what they're really famous for.
That's.
Don't even ask why you have that sign. It's okay.
I'm craving that.
One word for you, and that's college.
I love that. All right. And please let us know what city and state you're from if you haven't already. I already see a lot of people telling us where they're from. Texas, New Jersey, Nashville. Nashville's not too far there. Massachusetts, Tennessee. Nice. Knoxville, a few people from Kentucky, Tennessee. What's up?
Oh, what's up, Valerie from Phoenix?
That's Mary Albie. You know, Mary Albie's on. She just joined Chime. She's in my office.
So really?
She's awesome. Love her.
Love that.
We've got Maria Perez from Spain. Maria, gracias por estar aquí con Lab Code Agents, con Brittany and Randy. Mexico City too. Look, I'm just going to practice my Spanish right now. I love this. All right, Brittany, let's get right into this because apparently Randy and I have known you for 50 years. And
right. That sounds about right.
For longer. Yeah. So no, we first met through Lab Code Agents, and you were a newer agent and you wanted to go all in on online leads. Mm-hmm. And since then, it's only been about 4 years, but it really feels like a long time. And so how have you shifted from 4 years ago to where you are now, going all in on online leads?
So I guess I'll give a little bit of maybe a little background for me.
Yeah, please.
I am not from the area that I live in. I'm originally from Tennessee, the Memphis area, went to school in Nashville, and moved here, met a guy, moved here, then met my husband and stayed, right? So I didn't really know very many people. The people that I knew, we were all in kind of these mom groups. I'm a crunchy mom, breastfeeding, cloth diapering, all that fun stuff. So that was my sphere, but my sphere was very small. When I joined Lab Code Agents, I saw agents just producing at a massive level. It was more than just the, hey, I'm doing 1 or 2 a month. It was more like, I think at the time, 10 or 15 a month. Amanda Thompson Todd had done 18 or 21 million in that short frame of time. And I was like, well, how are they doing that? And the more I kind of got involved in it, I saw that everybody was buying leads. I was like, well, if they're at the top and they're doing it, I'm going to do it too. I probably would say I was too stupid not to know any difference. I just kind of didn't ask and jumped into it and just did what everybody else was doing.
I love it. Brittany didn't know that online leads suck, right, Tristan? We talked about that yesterday. She
had no idea.
It sucked. So I'll just call these leads. I'll sell these people homes. And that's how we're talking about it.
Well, and what's super cool about it is that was 4 or 5 years ago now, right? Those same people that were my online leads are now my repeat clients. And so they're back under contract buying a house. They now have become my sphere, which was kind of the way I looked at the online leads and the databases. Like, I don't know anybody, so I'm just going to know all these people.
Sure.
Yeah, so it worked. Well,
All right. So let's go into that, because you jumping in online leads, the biggest misconception of online leads is that most of them suck and they're terrible. And that's understandable because a lot of people don't have the systems in place to be able to nurture them and convert them. So I want to start off with the systems in place to be able to really capitalize on these online leads, regardless of what part of the world you're from. Because I want to take just a note there, Brittany. We've run ads in Mexico, the country. We've run ads in Europe, in France, in England. We've run ads in Australia. We run ads in Canada. Obviously, it's like the US. And so many different parts of the world. And it works pretty much the same, right? So I want to know what you're doing, what systems on a basic level and a little bit deeper you have that allow you to convert these leads.
I mean, I'm about to blow your mind. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. You got a pen and paper?
I just pulled it up. Here we go.
All right. When a lead registers, I call them immediately.
Oh, Randy, we're done.
Drop the mic. I'm leaving out.
So I found
He actually left.
when I first registered, when I first got into real estate, I signed up for the Zillow, right? Didn't know that was bad either.
Mm-hmm.
I converted my first Zillow lead in like 2 weeks. So to me, it looked really good. The only thing that I've ever done is I call them immediately. I get in front of them. I know that when you're in front of a potential client, you have a higher likelihood of converting them. So my number one goal is to get face-to-face. So I go for the face-to-face.
Love
That's
that.
it.
All right, I love that.
It's super simple though. Like I remember a saying that says success is simple, but it's not easy, right? Or something like that.
Yeah.
It's very simple. And it sounds like I should be doing so much more. And for years, 3 and 4 in real estate for me, I felt like I should be doing more, right? Like I was like, oh, I should be doing this and I should be doing that and I should be changing this and changing that and changing this. It wasn't until this year, coronavirus, when we took that time off, I literally scaled back, cut everything out and started over.
Okay.
And when I started over, my business and my team's business is just like, it's really blown up because we just call the people back.
All right. And how often are you calling people back? Is it just a one-time thing or do you have a routine? Explain that to me.
So then now is where I guess we'll get into what I was doing at first without the true systems that I have now. I basically got on the phone with my entire database, like every day. I would get on the phone and wouldn't get off until somebody wanted to buy a house. I didn't care how many calls that took. I didn't care how long it took. I figured I was at home in my pajamas, so they couldn't see me. I figured all of them had children. So if my little girl was loud, which she will be soon, I'm sure, because she's over there. But if she was loud, I simply say, I'm so sorry. I have a little girl, but I wanted to make sure I reached out to you.
All right.
And I never really got pushback. My voice now is probably my natural voice, but a lot of people have heard customer service, Brittany. So this is Brittany. Naturally, I'm getting over an ear infection, so I'm kind of a little flat. But hey, this is Brittany. Oh my goodness, it looks so. I'm so excited that you're registered on my site. I'd love to show you that house. When's a good time for us to see it? So my inflection goes up about, I don't know, however much that went. But I'm actually like really excited when somebody's like, yeah, I want to buy a house. I'm like, I get a paycheck. So,
I love it.
I like that. All right. So Brittany, when you're talking about reaching out to them, what type of conversation are you having for you to be able to actually either meet them in person or do some type of a Zoom conference? Because with the pandemic, not everybody's comfortable meeting, right? So can you take me through that? What type of conversation is that? How does that look and sound?
So we'll do 3 different lead sources. I have more than that, but the 3 different ones will be easier. On Zillow, if somebody's calling, they're registering about 123 Main Street. I simply say, hey, would you like to see 123 Main Street in person, or would you like me to FaceTime you and give you a virtual tour?
Easy.
I don't ask any other. There is nothing else to ask. I understand, especially because of safety, especially recently with all the crazy mess that's going on, the pre-qualifying questions. My pre-qualifying questions aren't, have you been pre-approved? It's how did you decide on this price point?
Got it. I like that.
You're kind of backdooring into that same information, and they can say, oh, well, my rent's $1,600. And my average price point here is about $250. So forgive me for y'all. I'm jealous of the California people, but my average rent's $1,600. Okay, awesome. That's probably a mortgage of about $215, $225. But this house that we're looking at is $150. Did you want to stay way below? And then they're like, no, I wanted to stay at my amount. Okay, well, look, I think I'm right, but I'm not a lender. So let me do this. Let me text my lender and see if they're available, because they can answer those questions about what price point we should be in.
I like that. More natural conversation, easier going. So you're approaching Zillow just exactly with what they want. They want to see property. They've reached out to you in some way or another. That's fine. What are the other two?
So on Facebook, we get a lot of registrations because of kind of the way we advertise our listings on Facebook. Mm-hmm. I simply ask them, hey, is this the price point you were looking in? There are a couple properties I'd love to show you. When's a good time for me to show you? So because I cut my teeth on Zillow, I think I fall back into just trying to get them into a house. That's just the kind of natural way. With COVID, I have started saying, and we have started saying, hey, we've taken precautions. We have gloves for you. We have masks, because I went a little crazy when COVID first started happening. And I have a couple hundred masks for everybody. So we have all those things, and we hadn't really had a pushback at all on my side.
All right. So you've got Zillow, Facebook, and what's the third?
I don't know. I guess it will be a portal lead. But the portal lead is the same as a Facebook and how I approach them.
Are you running Realtor.com leads or Google leads as well? No. How about referrals, past clients, Sphere?
Well, but those are different. With a referral or past client, the only thing you have to do is tell them, hey, let me get you in touch with a lender so we can see how much house you're buying. Because you've built down. You already have the rapport built up because they came from your past friend, and they kind of know your work ethic and all that good stuff. So they'll ask you what the first step is. First step is to chat with the lender.
All right. So it sounds like the majority of your business comes from referrals, mm-hmm. Zillow, and Facebook.
We have a decent amount from open houses and from sign calls, but those are two other different conversion tactics too. Okay. With an open house, we have a protocol where we will have have all the listings in the area that fit that same price point, and then have a couple outside of the area. We'll go from a high to a low, and we usually have a lender there or a lender on standby that we can connect them with for their price points.
All right, so let's take a look at the process of these leads coming through. If you get a Zillow lead, if you get a Facebook lead, or even if you get a referral or open house, like wherever you're getting, where are you dumping into? Where are you putting them?
I put them into a new CRM that I just started, Chime. Okay. Loving it. It's so like, I feel so silly for not going to Chime earlier. It's so user friendly. Like the interface is really pretty, where it's very simple to just plug and play, get in there, get what you need. You have your auto dialer, so we can do that. We have AI in Chime as well, so we can play around with that too.
All right, so when you're putting it into...
Or Al, as Kayla would call it. Kayla calls AI Al, by the way.
Al?
Al, yeah.
She knows it's AI, not Al.
Yeah,
I love it.
She's this Al person, and I was like, artificial.
Uncle Al.
Are we serious?
Uncle Al's converting my leads.
Yeah, Uncle Al.
Al.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about just regular CRM tactics. Okay, we just happen to have Randy and Chime, and right. That's fine. But regardless of what CRM you're using, what are the steps that you usually take in inputting the leads? Are they auto-imported? Do you put special tags? And what do you do? Take me through that process so people understand correctly.
I'm extremely lazy. I want everybody to understand. I'm like super lazy. Everybody
Which is the exact opposite of calling leads, right? Like she's super lazy, but she calls
But I
leads.
like money, so I like getting like paying bills and stuff. So I'll follow leads. But by lazy, I mean I don't try to overcomplicate things. When I tried that, I literally had paralysis by analysis because I was too busy trying to segment everything, right? So I have my leads automatically dump into my CRM via an API. Almost every CRM that I've ever heard of has an API. So basically an API is kind of what ties your source to your CRM, and then it kind of dumps this way, right?
Yep.
I will immediately, usually I'll shoot them a text or something like that, you know, hey, looking forward to chatting with you. If it's a sign call, it's a little bit different because they go through call action. I have a call routing number and they are assigned an open house drip. That same open house drip can be applied to any CRM as well. I just liked it in call action because I liked the way it looked and the way that it routed out to my agents on my team.
Sure, makes sense.
All right, so they auto-populate into your CRM, the Chime, and then they get an auto text in some cases where you have them for open houses.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a system that you have personally where you're like, okay, I've got this many leads, now I'm going to call them every 3 days, every 4 days, every 5 days? How does that work?
Well, remember, I can set up different filters, right?
Okay.
So let's say, because my leads for me move down the pipeline. So we have a new lead, attempted contact, showing, under contract, past inspections, and closed, right? So for me, if I want to immediately get money today, I would call all the leads that I've tried to call that have not been contacted. So attempted contact.
Okay, makes sense.
The new leads shouldn't really be in my pipeline status, but of course nobody's perfect. And sometimes even Brittany doesn't call a lead back immediately when she's busy. So I would actually, focus on those as well. For, I guess, bread and butter, if somebody asked me now, Brittany, what would you focus on to get me a paycheck today? I would tell them, how long have you been in real estate? I've been in real estate 3 years. Go back to those people who registered in 2017 to 2018. Focus on those because statistically, they're more likely to purchase a home or be ready to buy versus a brand new lead where you have a 3 to 5% conversion rate.
All right.
So let's point out that means old leads are not junk.
No, old leads is sexy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. It's funny how people who spend a long amount of time generating leads, suddenly their conversion numbers go up because these old leads are maturing, is what Brittany is saying.
All right, so let's talk about old leads a little bit, Brittany.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any other thing that you do with old leads? Like, are you doing Dare with Chime yet or no?
No, not yet. I have to copy yours.
Okay, good. So, I would suggest that you, with as you grow your database, try retargeting them through.
I do retargeting too through Walepo. I'm retargeting.
Oh, perfect.
And Call Action has something called Revive, where it's waking back up some of those oldest with a really sick, cool drip campaign. So yes, I'm constantly dripping them.
I like that.
Do I feel like I'm doing anything? No, because I'm not physically calling them. So it's just my phone rings and they want to buy a house. And I'm like, oh, what a surprise.
Magic.
I like that. And I know that Call Action just recently did turn that on. So that's cool. The automated drip to bring people back to life.
It's sick. It was so, let me tell you something. They all respond. I think I had a 62% response rate. It was so much that I told Jesse, I said, you need to turn this off. I can't. Like they won't stop messaging me. And they're all like, hey, who is this? Oh yeah, I still have. And so you're trying to shoot it all off. And this was before I tightened up on the CRM side. So I felt like a lot was falling through the cracks when I did it.
All right. So I'm going to transition over, but first, everybody listening in, either on the webinar or on the Facebook side of it, if you have questions, bring them on in. I'll ask them to Brittany, or Randy will ask them to Brittany, and then I'll transition over to scaling because I have a question about scaling, Brittany. Christy, what's up, Christy? Christy Betancourt. She's saying, what's Call Action? Is that a program? Can you explain that, Brittany?
I can try because I don't understand it all. But basically, here's how I use it. Call Action is a lead broadcast service that you can also use as a CRM and assign drip campaigns. It is married to APIs as well, so you can push it through whatever portals or whatever lead sources you have can go in there. From my team and I, we use it for our sign calls. So let's say someone called about 123 Main Street. It's literally ringing across all of our phones. Fastest Finger gets it. And when they hang up, as long as my team assigns sign call drip, then they're dripped after that.
All right. So they're, in essence, what they are, they're just drips, right? And the cool thing is that
it's like additional touches. I'd probably say, you know, we as real estate agents all know one thing: we are really busy. Even if we're doing whatever, we're always busy. This kind of takes the load off of, hey, you forgot to call that person back 15 times, because it's dripping. You have voicemail drips, you have video, text message drips. You can even, I think, so we have voicemail, video, text, and you can send them at specific times. So not 5 o'clock on the dot, but maybe 5:03 to make it look a little bit more natural.
Got it. All right. Mario has a question. What's up, Mario? What success have you had with Facebook ads? What message are you delivering, either by phone or text? And how do you pivot from a bad number?
So on Facebook ads, I don't run a generic ad. I didn't learn anymore after they changed it. I got mad and just paid people to do it for me. So I don't do it myself anymore. It's not the highest and best use of my time. But I run generic Facebook ads in groups when we have open houses with emojis and that kind of thing. Usually, I think when we run them as a team, we can have 3 to 5 registrations per day on them. So 15 or so leads. If we ran it more consistently, we'd probably get 65 to that 75 a month. For a bad number, I would do, Tristan taught me a long time ago, check that email address, put it in your iPhone text message and say, you know, hey, is this Tristan? If they say yes, awesome, I'm just reaching out to you. What's a good phone number for you? So I still use the iMessage thing from 5 years ago.
I know, it still works, right? Crazy. I'm loving that. All right, Deborah's got a question for you. How many attempts do you make when you keep getting no responses? At any point, do you stop?
So me personally, right? Like I'm fat finger dialing. Okay. I probably fat finger dial when I accept a lead. I like 3 times a day a lot. It feels natural to me. So 3 times a day for the first 7 days, and then every other day. However, I don't have to fat finger as much because of the other systems that I have in place that are constantly dripping them and constantly reaching out to them. So yeah, so while I can say I can physically do it about 21 times in 2 weeks, that's not the truth because of all the artificial intelligence and the AI and everything from the CRMs. I'm probably reaching out about 50 times. We're reaching out enough where the people are mad. So.
Yeah, agreed. Now, Greg Hollander, what is fat finger dialing? Fat finger dialing is the university term for actually picking up your finger and dialing the phone.
The university term.
Yeah.
Welcome to
It was so smart, John. I mean, fat finger dialing on the phone.
Greg, great question, by the way. I knew somebody was going to ask. I love that one. All right. We got another question this is from Facebook. What is a script that she's using for calling those old leads? Anything that stands out on the old leads for calling? Because look, Brittany, I'm not calling them. I'm letting my systems do that, whether it's text or retargeting through nurture. So what are you doing though, if you're doing
So when I do, because we have a huge pond or pool or whatever database, we simply call them, are you still in the market to buy a home?
Easy.
Yeah. I don't try, when I try to do too much, you could tell because my business, it wasn't natural for me. It wasn't natural for our team. And all of our business is halted when we try to do too much. When we kept it authentic and real, it just kind of took off because it's like, oh no, I don't want to buy a home. Okay, awesome. You know, did you buy? Where? Do you know what I mean? Just still keeping the conversation going because we know that even though those people bought with somebody else, 9 times out of 10, they don't sell again with them. So,
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point. And I wrote an article like 3-4 years back on 7 texts to bring people back from the dead. Leads, okay, not real people. And I'm putting the link right there so you guys all can take a look at it. Some of those texts, most of those texts are still in place, so you can definitely use those, especially mass texting. So that's one way that we use Chime on the back end. So
I must say, don't mass test more than about 50 people at a time. They do respond. Trust me, believe me, you will be crying. You think you want that, you do not.
that's so true. Good point. Good point. But now, because of people like you and I, Brittany, because we used to text hundreds of people at a time, they've staggered those texts. So now they don't go out all at once.
See, they fixed it for us.
They fixed it for us.
500 at a time. Go. Yeah.
I know. It's terrible. It's terrible. All right, cool. So here, if anybody has questions on Chime and what we can do for your business, and I mean, look, I'm not part of Chime, but I use Chime as well, along with Brittany.
Right.
There's a link that we put in there, and we have a special today that I was going to wait to the end, but I'm just going to throw it out right now.
Yes.
You can sign up for Chime in the next week that we decided?
In August. So by end of business Monday.
All right. If you sign up for Chime by the last day of August, Chime has asked me to coach you for 30 minutes. So like a one-on-one coaching session with you on your business, on how to level you up. Ha! Brittany, you have an open line to me.
I know. Well, there's that.
So if you do sign up for Chime over the next however many days that is, you just Randy will let me know, and then they'll give you my cell phone number, and we can text back and forth and figure out a time where we can jump on for 30 minutes, and then I'll help you with your business or whatever it is that you need help with in regards to real estate. So Amanda's asking, Chime is $400 a month though. I want it so bad. What can we do for Amanda? Is it $400 a month, or I thought it was like $399?
I think it's on the users too.
So I'll say it's not a one size fits all. So let Amanda send me a message on Facebook, or I can reach out to you. Your number is probably in our CRM, and ultimately we'll take care of everyone on the line today. Everyone watching, we'll come up with something that fits you and your business. We're not going to force you into something that isn't a good fit for you. And then you're going to get coached up by the one, the only Tristan Ahumada.
I love it. All right. Now let's go into scaling.
Okay.
Brittany, I've known you a while. So this question is not for me. It's for the audience. Okay. What has been the secret to scaling your business over the last three years or so? Because I know it's gone like this, and it's normal, right? And I don't think people understand that part. But what has been the secret to that scaling? So
for me, I built a team, right? Early into my career. And I think I was lost a little bit as to what a leader should be. Am I making sense by that?
Yep.
The best part of scaling for me is when I step back, listen to, why I lost so many team members, why they were leaving. We're all still great friends, so it was never any animosity, but listen to them and decided to lead from the back, right? So if my team was happy, I was happy. What is it that I can do to make y'all better? What do y'all need from me in order for us to be the best us as we can be? And so that's kind of why my team used to have my first and last name. Now we're just the B group. A lot of people think it stands for Brittany. No, not necessarily. It depends on which team member you ask. What does B stand for?
All right.
So scalability, you're probably thinking in production, and I took that more personal.
No, I'm thinking about as anything that you thought scaling was, because I think the biggest challenge we have with scaling comes to really the mindset. Randy and I went deep on mindset yesterday.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people are ready to grow. And until you're ready, things are going to fall apart left and right.
For me, I think that My goal is always to beat my last year, right? My first year in real estate sucked. Well, it was great, right? I did 52 units in the first year. That was awesome. Man, that's a hell of a lot to keep up with too. To try to continuously, okay, you got to do better than that. You got to do better than that. Okay, you have to build this team and everybody has to do better than that. And so I was constantly trying to do better than that, right?
Mm-hmm.
That 52, I don't even look at it the same way anymore. I just kind of look at it like, look, no, I have to do better than me, right? And if that 52 units, is it really 52 units that I wanted, or is it the 10 million that I did, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so my average price point has now increased. So I'm not closing as many deals. I don't care. I'm still making the same amount of money for a lot less stress. And my team is doing really, really well, which is super important to me.
I like that. So when you're looking at your team is doing really, really well, what do you think of? What's that first thing that comes to mind?
When I say that,
Yeah.
oh, they're happy. Oh my God. Like we laugh, we joke. We're on like this Facebook Messenger thing. And my God, I'm so glad nobody else could see it because we shoot the stuff a lot on it. They're just an amazing group. We have a new listing coming up. And, you know, I know a lot of agents don't like to do open houses. Well, one of our agents, she was sick for a couple of weeks. Well, she's back and she's like, give it to me. When am I doing an open house? I want the open house. So you promised I would have no people coming to that open house until 2 o'clock, right? So 2 o'clock, when I go, it's all for me. Charmaine, that's for you. And I found it so hilarious because she was like, no, that's my open house. I've waited for this one. When can I start promoting? I want to promote today. Can I promote today? And I'm like, oh, can I have pictures first? So it's like super, I don't know. You can tell when it's right, it feels right.
I love that. Well, that's why I asked you, what was the first thing that came to mind, right? So yeah, look, when you're looking at scaling and growth and you want to grow your business, you're going to fail a lot and it's going to teach you a lot of things along the way. And one of those is that—
don't blow it.
Yeah, one of those is that sometimes there are no shortcuts, right? There just aren't. You have to grow mentally to be able to lead and grow and then scale. And the first thing that she thought of when I asked her, look, what are you thinking of when your team is doing amazing, is that they're happy, right? That's so good to me because that is what you're supposed to be thinking. When you're leading, you almost put your interests aside and say, well, how is my team doing? Right? Whether a team is admin, right, staff, or actual buyers and sellers agents, or whoever your team is. So that was really important, Brittany. I love that. So let's go a little bit deeper into how you keep your culture in your team high, because that's a big challenge with most teams and brokerages and just in general partnerships.
Well, and you know, I think the biggest team I had was 18 people, I think, something like that. It was a lot. It was too many. 18, now we have 6, right? And our sweet spot, because we're all starting to get busy, is probably about 10. And then we can breathe, right? Okay. I no longer really want a massive team. That's not for Brittany, even though I see other people being successful and I think that's amazing. For Brittany, I want everyone on the team to be the best them they can be. And then we naturally will bring in who needs to come in. Like I don't beg anybody. We don't do any sorts of recruiting or anything like that. The last couple of agents that have joined the team have reached out to us. So you won't see us saying, hey, we're hiring. We don't do that anymore.
I love that. You found your comfort spot where you're like, hey, I'm great here and I'm going to grow from here. I like that. So tell me, when it comes to the team, how is your team using Chime and how does the distribution of leads look there? So
fastest finger gets it.
Oh, the fastest fat finger.
Fastest fat finger, right. So I've tried call days before. I've tried lead rotation. I've tried everything. Basically, if it's been out there, I've tried it. Hence the reason I failed so many times. We find that fastest fingers are the best. When a lead comes in, we automatically also won't try to claim a lead we can't work at that time because we all care about each other's growth and success like everybody on the team cares, right? So if somebody can't grab it, they don't grab it. Making sense?
Oh, 100%.
Well, that's a result of your culture, though.
Yeah, like we're not greedy. We have fun.
That's a direct result of having the right culture fit on your team, because there's some people who have agents who are going to claim that lead but never work it, which is going to negatively impact everyone else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we don't do that.
That's awesome. That's something to treasure.
We have a Facebook group too. So we do have days in the Facebook group where it's like a private homes for sale group. And each day a different agent gets the group, and whatever leads that come in due to our questions, those agents keep those leads and work to convert those too.
All right. Do you cap the amount of leads that agents are able to work with at one time, or do you just let it go?
You probably should. We don't. No.
Should.
Basically,
like your brain was thinking, you're like, that's a good idea. Okay.
well, we've talked about it a little bit, and it's more of, hey, have y'all followed up? So usually they know when I say, so I'll tell you what happens. Hey, what's going on with y'all's follow up? Then the agents naturally just stop claiming the leads and start following up. And so those leads will go to agents who don't have as many. So it's not like before when I had a team, it was you must. Now it's kind of like, hey, y'all, we want to buy some more stuff next month. We kind of need to convert. Mm-hmm. So when we say that, we start scaling back, and naturally everybody just starts working what they have and being more diligent and purposeful in converting those people and following up. So they do it on their own. I don't have to do what I used to have to do.
Well, I think that's when you find the right group of people, right, that are motivated on their own. So that makes a big. And like, we're super close knit. We have this Facebook Messenger group.
And we just chat on it all day long about everything. We also have a series of like different days, like on Tuesdays is team meeting. On Fridays is F It Friday. Literally, that's what it's called. Where F it, but the word Friday.
Oh, F it. I thought you said epic. Epic.
I said epic.
No, I did not say epic.
I should have known better.
Yeah, like fudge.
Where's
Friday,
my head at, Brittany? I don't know. See,
forget it. Friday.
But the reason we have that is because we all know real estate can be crazy, and so that's the one time that we all have to vent. And basically, whoever has the craziest week gets to start with a tip card. So we vote on it. Oh no, cool. That one, you got that one. So yeah.
Yeah, worst story wins.
I know, right? And it's hilarious and it's funny, and we all end up laughing at the end of it. Oh, we have mimosa mornings too on Wednesday.
Mimosa mornings.
Yeah.
How do you do that during the pandemic? Do you just do Zooms or meet up in person? Nice.
That's awesome.
Randy, I think Chime needs to do a fast food Friday.
Fast food Friday.
Burgers.
Hey, I'll come up with like a buffet of various fast foods.
And then waiter app it to us.
You go there.
Waiter app? I haven't heard of Waiter app.
You haven't? Uber Eats?
I know what Uber Eats is.
It's just like that.
Oh, okay. And I can send food to Brittany in Baton Rouge from here in Atlanta?
No, not from Atlanta, damn it.
Not from your restaurants there, but you can go and
somewhere close.
Bistro, order me half a dozen cargo oysters, no jalapenos. That would so work.
Once I get y'all's addresses, I'm going to troll the heck out of you guys. You're going, Tristan, for every webinar we do from now on, Tristan's just going to go, just
Fast Food Friday, baby. I'm down. All right, we got some questions here.
Oh, God.
Christy Batencourt's got, what's up, Christy? Good questions, by the way. On average, what's your monthly costs or spend on leads? Do you know, Brittany, by any chance? Kind of an estimate? All right.
But I just increased it. So.
What's that now?
Now, I think we are at about around 4,500, 4,000.
Cool. And mainly focused on Zillow and Facebook, kind of a combination?
Zillow, Facebook, and there's some other little sexy stuff I hadn't said.
All right. The sexy stuff. I love it. All right. So that's about 4,500. And then how many on your team right now, approximately?
6, including me.
All right, good. So that feeds a team of 7, right?
Right. Well, no, I'm 6.
Okay. So a team of 6. Awesome. Yeah. I love that. And then
we're probably a little lead heavy now. I probably need to go back a little bit, but again, we're playing with different lead sources so I can see what's converting before I red light, green light on it. And right now we had a great month, so I'm green light, but I can red light, you know what I mean, if I wanted to.
You turn off the leads coming through. You can turn them on, off. That's red light, green light for everybody listening in. You know, I'll throw in what we're doing, Brittany, just to give you a different aspect of it. And just know, everybody listening in, we all do things a little bit differently, right? Because it just works for us where we're at. The way that I have it is, well, we run a team out here in Los Angeles and Ventura County, and we have approximately almost 2,000 leads coming in a month. From that, we try to do our best to keep each of our agents that are on the team to capping now at 100 leads at a time. So they can keep on getting leads, but here's the process. Let's say Randy's at now 120. It's at the end of the week. He needs to make sure he cuts back to under 100, throws the rest into the pond, which is a feature where everybody can dial in, right? And then that allows all the other agents that are already caught up making their calls to jump onto the pond and call. And if you convert one pond lead, then it comes to you. But the thing that we've noticed is when we cap everybody to 100 leads just for their own, these are online leads. Obviously, you can have a ton more from open houses, past clients, sphere, all that. Online leads at one time. It allows them to focus on the best, what they've categorized as the best ones, right? So we categorize ours as A through E, right? A is ready to purchase now with a pre-approval. B is ready to purchase now with no pre-approval, right? And C is going to purchase probably 3 to 6 months out, and then it keeps on going like that. But this way, it allows my team to focus on the A's and the B's, right? Everybody else usually goes in the pond, right? And so that's allowed here. I did that for one thing. So you remember you and I used to use Commissions Inc.
Right.
And we jumped out of it. But when we were using Sync,
all three of us
were at Sync. Yes, you were right.
We were, yeah.
So true, so true. When we were at Sync, I had one agent who had 8,000 online leads in a year. Okay, that's a lot. And he was just falling way behind on making dials, and he was getting really confused as to who to call next, and now his tasks were pushing far behind. And so after that, we sat down and I'm like, you know, this is really unhealthy, first of all, for your mind, right? Because you don't even know who the hell to call. So let's come up with a system. And it was because of him that I came up with this system to help out the rest of the team. And so far, my team has really, really come down. I've got a team of 16 people, but only 7 of them do anything. So I really have a team of 7, right? That's really my core. That's who produces a lot. Our conversion rate for Google is around 2.5, probably closer to 3% now, because we're running Google PPC through Chime and through Ylopo into Chime, both of them. And so 1 out of every 33 is pretty good. Facebook's a little lower, probably 1.5%, right? And just so everybody listening in, the funnel that it looks like, Facebook leads are at the top of the funnel, right? Because as you're scrolling through, Brittany, you're going through Facebook, you're like, ooh, a house, click it. That looks nice. Click it. Fat finger click. That looks nice. But there was no purpose, no purposefulness on your part as the consumer. It just popped up. So you're like, oh, cool, click. A little bit further out. Middle of funnel, we're looking at Google PPC. Those people are purposefully typing in homes in Malibu close to Pepperdine University. Very purposeful, right? Closer to being ready. That's why we like Google. And then bottom of funnel, Zillow, Realtor.com, typically Redfin if you're a Redfin partner. Those sites are specifically for searching for homes, but they also cost $200 a lead for the Zillow or Realtor.com leads in my area. And Redfin gives a big chunk or takes a big chunk out of our paycheck if we need referrals from them. So the sweet spot for us has been Google PPC over the last few years, which is great. So that's a conversion rate. How much do you spend a month on leads? Okay, on leads, Diana, just for the leads coming through to Chime, I'm at $10,000 a month right now on expenditure, but Diana, you
I
also,
can I preface your 10 versus my 4,500? Tristan's in a different area,
yeah, I was
right?
about to say, yeah.
So his cost will be more than my cost will be in the South, even if we're pulling in the same amount of leads. I hope that makes sense to whomever's listening. And I
Totally.
want to say something else too, right? Y'all hear these huge numbers. I'm at 4,500. Tristan's at 10,000 plus. Y'all, I started at $186. So don't use that as a crutch or anything like that. If you have listings, or if you're at a brokerage and they have listings, if you have a CRM, you can do this.
Yeah, that's very true. You can start at a very, very small amount, and it doesn't need to, you don't need to start at a $10,000, $5,000 spend. And Chime is good for really any level of agent. You can be a single agent, you could be a partnership.
Right,
Team.
and Chime is good for
Brittany?
scaling too.
Very true. You don't ever have to switch CRMs. You could stick where you're at. So really good point on that, Brittany. I love that. A question here, and Brittany, you can take this one. There's a few questions. Here we go. One's for you. Christy Betancourt says $186. Where did you start?
In the hood and Zillow.
I like that.
It was not the greatest
Very
place.
specific.
It was in the hood, but it was $186. I was an agent for 3 weeks, and I told my husband, hey, I think, if I just closed one of them, then we made the money back for a year. And he was like, go for it. And that's what I did. And I converted 4 or 5 in that zip code. It's still one of my favorites. I think average price point was $100 or $100,000. So my check was $2,500, and I was so excited about this.
That's awesome. That's a good pick. I like that.
That's
Okay.
a great
I
return.
can't afford the ritzy areas. Even now, I'm like, Jesus, that much? No, I'm a figure that out in there. So.
That's so good. Diana's a good question. Do any of you farm by U.S. mail? Brittany, do you?
I don't. Mm-mm.
All right, I do. And we have a whole process for that, Diana. So if you do sign up for Chime, I can share that with you.
Yeah, I ain't ready for that yet.
Soon. All right, let me see what question I missed. Leanna Austin on the Facebook side. Randy needs more information on Chime. I already answered Jessica Morrison's question. What's up, Jessica? Who manages my PPC? Okay, so I have 2 companies. I don't do it, but I've tried in the past, and I can do it, but man, I'm happy I don't. I've got 2. I've got Chime, who runs it. We're actually going to meet today at 4 to go over the Google spend and tweaking a few things. So Chime does it. And then Ylopo, their whole team is running PPC 2.0 for me. That's running through Chime as well. So the reason I have 2 different companies running it, I'm always testing to see who's doing better, who can tweak a little bit, because I'm a little paranoid that some things may work and not end up working, and I don't want to be left out because I have to give this information back to you, right? So I'm always testing everything out. Linda Wells has a question. Brittany, do you have buyers pre-qualified before you show them houses? We've had so many people bored at home just to call up and looky-loos and all this other stuff. No. All right. I do not have them pre-qualified either. The process of scripting, though, is it's a dialogue, and I'm trying to find their motivation, right, along the way. And because I've been doing it for years on scripting, Brittany's really good at it. We know if you're kind of screwing around, right? So it's just part of practicing a lot. And let me see if we've got any other questions. No. All right. If you have questions on Chime, Randy can help you out. There's a link. Tessa's going to post up a link right now. And remember, if you do sign up, the coaching thing that I do will only last until the end of August, because I don't coach people. It's been a long time since I coach people. And I left it because I'm just too busy with lab coats and my team. So there's the link. If you have questions,
I love it.
Reach out to me. Randy, Brittany, go ahead.
Okay, so I want y'all to go in the search bar. We're all in Lab Coat Agents, right? In the search bar, type scripts, Tristan Ahumada. He has posted, especially 16, 17, 18. Some of the scripts that I use are directly from him, word for word, verbatim. Like I literally imported everything he said and typed it out and put it into my CRMs. Like, so he's quiet. He doesn't say much. He's put it all in Lab Coat Agent. Sometimes it gets buried under fluff. Search for it. Go in there, tag us. He will always respond and say, hey, if this isn't working, try it this way. That's all I want to say.
Good point, Brittany. I love that. Thank you for bringing that up. I forgot.
I had a client message me 2 days ago that they plugged in one of Tristan's drips and converted an online lead into a listing appointment 2 days later, just through his drips.
My onboarding for my training, Tristan, years ago, you had this scripting thing, and literally it's in a PowerPoint. This is what you're supposed to do. I kept it from like, I guess it had to have been 17 or 18. And I literally kept it and put it in my PowerPoint to train my, so yeah.
I love it. All right, Brittany, one last question for you from me. And that's this. What are you most excited about for the end of this year and beginning of 2021?
Dude, okay. So I have been working on this new builder, and I finally got all the listings for this neighborhood, 75 or 100 total units. I'm so excited to Hulk smash. I'm trying not to curse. That's why y'all like see me like this. The Hulk smash the promotions, the visibility for our new team, the lead gen. Man, that's so sick. Like,
I love that.
So huge.
What was the reason this company ended up using you to list their 75 homes?
So I think that I did after listings originally. I mean, it's a big box builder. So, and there are different agents for every area. I really, really, really wanted this price point in our community. There was nothing, right? And so their agent there and I had been working together, I think 2 or 3 years now. And we've been talking and bouncing back. I'd always been saying, hey, have y'all looked at this? This is some land. Y'all might be interested in building what we were talking about. Oh, okay, can you pull comps? And we were back and forth for years. And then all of a sudden, I started coaching, a training program. And it was kind of like, write your goals down. And I wrote my goals down. She was on LCA, by the way, on the podcast. Jeff just interviewed her.
Oh, yes. You referred her to our podcast.
I did.
I just listened to that podcast yesterday.
Your butt. Yeah, she is amazing. But like I wrote down my goals, right? And that was one of my goals. And I was very, very, very intentional, right? It was I didn't know how any of this stuff was going to happen. I didn't know how anything was going to happen. Didn't know that I'd have, more of the luxury price point, but I kept writing it down until it became fruition. And I think I'm back to probably 2015, 2016. Happy Brittany. Like sky's the limit again, finally.
I love that. Look at that mindset journey, right?
I do. Yeah, this income journey was also a mindset journey. It was like, So that's a happy Brittany.
I love having you on. It's so much fun, by the way.
I did so well, I didn't even curse. I'm sorry.
Good job, Brittany. Thanks for being on. I love your hat. I love the picture of what Randy thought was a goat in the background.
No, that is a cow for burgers. And it's I wouldn't eat that burger, but.
See, if you're going to eat the burger, the cow's not worth it.
There you go.
I wanted to say to everybody before we get off, please, please, please pray for those affected by this Laura person who came through and kind of destroyed Lake Charles. I'm personally going out. If anybody has interest and doesn't know I'm going to do this, so it's probably going to kill me, whatever. If anybody is interested in going down to Lake Charles and help clean up, let me know. I always go down. I went to Houston. I'll be in Lake Charles. We're a community. So that's it.
Brittany, I love that.
I know. I just kind of snuck that in there. I didn't even know I was going to say that.
Thanks for doing that, by the way. And for those of you who want to get a hold of Brittany, how do people get a hold of you, Brittany? You can Facebook message me. I think I have 5,000 friends though, which sucks. My call action 225-500-2017. Make sure you text me because you'll get stuck on lead rotation and you'll have very angry agents talking to you. Trust me.
You can always email me, bhowardrealtor@gmail.com. On Instagram, which sucks because I suck at Instagram. It is Britt Howard, GEAUXS.
All right. I got most of those except for the Instagram one. So
I'll type the Instagram.
perfect. Thanks, Brittany. And for anybody having a question about Chime, go to Randy, click on the link. This is recorded. So this will go on our YouTube page for Lab Coat Agents. And Brittany's typing up her Instagram handle in a few seconds. Almost there?
I'm almost. I think
There we go.
Yeah.
Britt Howard goes.
Good job.
I didn't think he was going to do it. I didn't think he could do it.
Wait, was that right?
Yes.
Oh, I
That's
thought
some
I
real-
was wrong.
That's some real occasion stuff right there. You don't
Boom,
get
there you
that.
go.
Yeah,
Talking to Brittany enough, I kind of figured it out.
that's awesome.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you.
Bye, y'all.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Brittany.
Bye.